500M inheritance on the line. The shocking betrayal she overheard before saying goodbye. The air in the old mansion was thick with secrets, each room a witness to the drama unraveling within its walls. As Jessica flipped through the dusty pages of her late grandfather's journal, a sense of foreboding gripped her. She was about to inherit $500 million, an unimaginable fortune. But it came with strings that no one spoke about aloud. Wealth was a dangerous game, and she was already caught in the web of those who played it. Just as she was about to close the journal, a muffled conversation from the next room snagged her attention. "Just wait until she's gone, then we strike." A voice hissed, slick and sharp like a blade. Her heart raced. Who was plotting against her? Who would betray family for money? The words slipped beneath her skin, crawling like insects, igniting a firestorm of fear and curiosity. She'd always been the good child, the dutiful granddaughter overshadowed by relatives whispering of entitlement and greed. Thinking of her family now felt like holding a ticking bomb. The shadows of doubt danced around her, whispering that they may not be the people she had trusted. An ominous chill washed over her as she pressed her ear against the cold wood of the door. The voices grew clearer. "If we don't act fast, she'll ruin everything. She doesn't even know the truth." Another voice chimed in, one filled with venom. Jessica's gut twisted. What truth? What did they know that she didn't? She barely managed to swallow the lump in her throat. That lump grew heavier with every second. Panic sliced through her. Should she confront them? Should she run? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. With a pounding heart, Jessica took a deep breath and flung open the door. What she saw paralyzed her in place. Her cousin Linda stood there, her face twisted in a mix of anger and determination. On the couch sat Uncle Ray, a man whose smile had always hidden 1,000 lies. They froze, eyes widening in shock, as if she'd flown in from another world. The betrayal hung thick in the room, heavy as lead, and Jessica could feel their hearts race. She felt alive with adrenaline but more scared than she ever had before. Then, as if the tension snapped, Linda's eyes darkened. "You shouldn't have come back, Jess," she warned, her voice low and dangerous. "You're just a pawn in our game." The words echoed in Jessica's mind like gunshots. What was the game? And how deep did their plans run? Was her life just about to twist into a nightmare she couldn't escape from? As they stood frozen in a standoff, the air crackled with danger, and somewhere, a clock ticked ominously, counting down the seconds to an inevitable explosion. Jessica's heart thundered in her chest, drowning out all reason. The air felt electric, charged with a danger she had never known. What game? She managed to whisper, her voice trembling between resolve and fear. The tension hung in the room like a thick fog, suffocating and heavy. Linda stepped closer, her gaze piercing. "You're not as innocent as you seem, Jess. You think they want you here for your charm. They need someone to pin everything on. And that someone is you." There was venom in her tone, and it slithered through the cracks of Jessica's defenses. "You can't be serious," Jessica stammered, struggling to comprehend the betrayal, the twisted logic. "I'm family. You think I would betray you for money?" It felt surreal, as if she were in a bad movie where the villain slowly reveals their diabolical plan. "Oh, but that's just it," Uncle Ray interjected, his voice low and smooth like syrup. "You are the perfect scapegoat. Once you're out of the picture, the inheritance will be ours. All of it." He leaned back, a calm smile spreading across his face, a predator savoring the moment. His calmness shook Jessica more than the raw cruelty in Linda's eyes. No. You can't be serious. Jessica spat, desperation clawing at the edges of her sanity. You can't do this. She instinctively stepped back, but panic kept her rooted in place. Ah, but we can. And we will, Linda shot back, her response sharp. The truth is, Jess' grandfather didn't just leave you money. He left you a mess, and we're tired of cleaning it up for you. What mess? The words fell flat, echoing in her mind like a taunt. It wasn't just money at stake, it was her entire life. Had her grandfather known? Was it a trap set for her from the beginning? A laugh broke the suffocating tension, harsh and insincere. You're so naive, Uncle Ray scoffed, shaking his head as if she were an embarrassing child. You really think he left you everything without a plan? There are things you don't understand, things you can't understand. And that makes you vulnerable. At that moment, Jessica felt the walls closing in, the room shrinking around her. Each breath turned labored, and a chill ran down her spine. Vulnerable. The word echoed like a haunting melody. She was exposed, and they were circling her like sharks sensing blood in the water. She closed her eyes for a heartbeat, trying to think, to rally her strength. I'm not afraid of you, she said, her voice steadier than she felt. You can't scare me into submission. Oh, but it's not about fear, sweetheart, Linda whispered, drawing closer, her eyes alight with a cruel glimmer. It's about survival. We'll do what needs to be done. The clock is ticking, and you're running out of time. The realization hit her like a slap. They had a plan, a nefarious scheme she hadn't even grasped yet. And as much as she wanted to run, the weight of uncertainty held her fast. She needed answers. Fast, before she could steady her resolve, she turned to escape, but the door slammed shut behind her with a resounding thud. Linda, grinning wickedly, stepped between her and the only possible exit. Where do you think you're going? The real game has just begun, and you're already playing right into our hands. Jessica's thoughts swirled. She had to fight back, but how? The stakes had never been higher, and she felt the icy grip of panic tightening around her. What could she possibly do against the relative she had once trusted? Then it struck her, if there were secrets hidden within her grandfather's estate, she would uncover them. What was left unsaid? What power did the inheritance truly hold? But where to start? As Linda's threatening gaze bore down, Jessica sensed the unraveling threads of her own fate. It was time to flip the script and play her hand. Let us see how deep this betrayal goes, she murmured, her eyes narrowing. Just as she formed a plan, the ominous ticking of the clock faded, replaced by an ear-splitting crash from somewhere outside like thunder splitting the sky open. The chaotic noise jarred her, and her heart lurched. What was happening now? She didn't have time to think. She needed to act fast. The game wasn't just about money, it was life or death. Jessica's heart raced as she spun toward the window, drawn by the sound of chaos erupting just outside. A dark figure staggered in the fading light, a man she had never seen before, his clothes soaked and tattered, as if he had just emerged from a storm. He stumbled towards the house, hands outstretched, desperation etched on his face. "Help me!" he shouted, his voice hoarse. "Please, you have to help me." Linda's eyes flickered to Jessica, then back to the door. "What the hell is that?" she hissed. Before Jessica could answer, the mysterious man banged against the glass, his face twisted in panic. "They'll kill me. They're coming." Fear shot through her. This wasn't just a distraction. This was a warning. "Who's coming?" Jessica called out, but the man seemed too frightened to respond. Ray stepped forward, disgust etched on his features. "Get rid of him. We can't have this wait." Jessica interjected, urgency fueling her words. "What if he knows something? Something that could help us?" Linda scoffed, her impatience palpable. You think he's going to help you? He's just a liability. The man's gaze locked onto Jessica, pleading. Please. I have information about the inheritance. I swear. The chills raced down her spine. Could this man really know something relevant? Would he be her ticket out of this treachery? Let him in. Jessica demanded, her voice rising. Ignoring her uncle's protests, she dashed for the door and wrenched it open. The man stumbled inside, eyes wide like a cornered animal. Lock it. He shouted, then turned to Jessica, breathless. They're coming, I saw them. They want the money, and they'll do whatever it takes. You're in danger. Her heart hammered as she felt the weight of his words settle around her. Just when she thought she understood the depth of her family's betrayal, this stranger was throwing her into even murkier waters. Linda's tone shifted. You're putting us all at risk, she snarled, stepping closer as if to intimidate him. No, Jessica shot back, determination surging through her. He deserves a chance to explain. The man grasped her elbow, his grip firm. You don't understand. They've been planning this for months. You're the key. If they can eliminate you, they get everything. Who? She pressed, panic and a surge of adrenaline coursing through her veins. Who is coming? The man's gaze darted to the windows as if anticipating their arrival. I can't say, but you need to trust me. We have to leave. Now. The weight of the night closed in around her. Could she really trust this man? Or was he part of some bigger scheme, another player in a deadly game? A loud bang reverberated from outside, followed by the sound of shouts. Panic ignited in the room. Linda and Ray exchanged frantic looks, their composure shaking. It's too late. Linda cried. Jessica, we need to take action now. Uncertainty roared within her. The line between friend and foe blurred further with every passing second. She was trapped in a web of deception, and the walls were closing in. With breaths quickening, Jessica's mind raced through possibilities. Could she truly flee with this stranger? Or would it seal her fate? The door rattled violently, and she felt the ground quiver beneath her feet. Get back! She ordered, her instincts screaming at her to protect herself. They had pushed her to the brink, and now the storm was at their door. As the door shuttered again and voices raised outside, all she could think was how far could betrayal stretch before it snapped entirely. Then, amidst the chaos, she heard a low, growling voice from the shadows outside. Jessica! You're coming with us, whether you like it or not. Her breath caught. The game was far from over. What awaited her on the other side of that door? The door rattled again, more violently this time, as if something outside was desperate to break through. Jessica's heart pounded in her chest, each throb drowning out her thoughts. The stranger beside her looked at her with wild eyes, the fear in his expression mirroring her own. Do you trust me? He asked urgently, his grip tightening around her elbow. She hesitated. Trust felt like a fragile thing, and right now, she was surrounded by shadows. I don't know, she admitted, her voice barely a whisper, choked with a mix of fear and uncertainty. The air was thick with tension. Linda and Ray were backing away, their faces pale, like they had just seen a ghost. The growling voice outside split the night air again, low and menacing. Open the door, Jessica. You can't hide from us. Who are they? She shouted, glancing fearfully at the windows. She could see nothing but darkness, but the threatening presence lingered, like a thunderstorm on the horizon. They're here for what's rightfully yours, the man replied, urgency driving his words. We can't stay. Please, just follow me. Before she could make a decision, another force slammed against the door, shaking the entire frame. We know you're in there. The voice boomed again. Open up. Jessica's breath caught in her throat. The pressure grew unbearable, like a vice tightening around her chest. Images flashed through her mind, her Uncle Ray grinning maniacally, Linda's cold calculation. Was this all a setup? What if they were the ones behind this chaos? Jessica. Ray barked, his voice slicing through her thoughts. Don't listen to him. He's playing you. She took a step back, conflicting emotions crashing over her like waves. Intuition warned her Ray and Linda might have been part of something sinister, but the man's desperation sparked doubt. No time for games. The stranger yelled as another feral crash rattled the door. Instinct screamed at Jessica to flee, but she found herself paralyzed, torn between trust and fear. I can help you. He insisted, gesturing to a darkened hallway. We can escape through the back, we don't have much time. Outside, the distinct sounds of footsteps echoed, the crunch of gravel under heavy boots. They were closing in, surrounding the house. The nerves in her fingers tingled as she weighed her options. There's no backing down for you now, Jessica, he said softly, as if sensing her internal struggle. You're the only one who can stop this. Suddenly, Linda lunged forward, shoving the man aside. You can't trust him. His information is nothing but a ruse. She turned to Jessica, her eyes wild. You're safe with us. We've got to stand together. But as she watched Linda's expression, a chilling realization hit her. The way Linda's lips curled, the way her hands trembled not from fear, but from something much darker. With adrenaline pumping, Jessica sprang into action. No. She shouted, a fierce resolve surging. I want to be a pawn in your game. She dashed towards the back door. The man called after her, wait. Follow me. But her instincts burned with clarity. She couldn't look back. Trust was a fragile thing, but survival? That was real. In 2 quick strides, she reached the hallway leading to the back exit, fingers fumbling with the doorknob. The moment she turned it, a loud crack echoed from the front, splintering wood as something powerful slammed against it. Voices amplified, urgency morphing into rage. Get her. You want to escape. Jessica forced the door open, her heart pounding in rhythm with the chaos behind her. Desperation gripped her as she darted into the blackness outside, adrenaline surging through her veins. Breathless, she peered into the surrounding night. The world felt distorted, shadows lurking. Where do we go? She panted, turning to find the man at her side. A sound behind them froze her blood. Heavy footsteps were approaching, the hunters closing in. We need to split up, he urged, his voice brimming with tension. They're looking for both of us. Trust me, I'll lead you to safety. But Jessica hesitated. Could she trust this stranger? Or had she just stepped from one trap into another? With danger looming so close, the choice she made would carve the path of her destiny. Would she follow him, leap into the unknown, or confront the shadows chasing her? Come on. He shouted, urging her with a determined look. Now. The chase was on, but would she find freedom or her worst nightmare? What truths lay ahead, waiting to be uncovered? Jessica's breath came in ragged gasps as she followed the man into the depths of darkness. The air felt electric, charged with impending danger, each sound amplified a rustle of leaves, the skitter of something unseen underfoot. Moments ago, she was lost in a suffocating room filled with threats. Now, she was out in the open, and it felt even worse. Over there. He pointed to a line of trees, their shapes looming like sentinels in the night. We'll hide until they pass. She nodded, the gravity of the situation washing over her. As they dove into the thick underbrush, her heart raced not just from fear but from a sense of betrayal lurking in the back of her mind. Linda and Ray had always felt like family, but now she questioned every loving memory, every shared laugh. Were they part of this conspiracy, intending to reclaim something from her? Stay low, he whispered, voice barely above a breath, pulling her closer. A shiver ran down her spine. It was almost intimate, yet so charged with panic that it turned her stomach. The hunting sounds grew louder now, voices rising in urgency. She went this way. Keep searching. We can't let her escape. Jessica's heart sank deeper. They're so close. Trust me, he urged, his eyes darting back toward the path they had just come from. I have a way out. Just stay quiet. She wanted to scream that she was tired of trusting people. Yet, instinct tugged her to lean in, his intensity wrapping around her like a blanket against the cold. In a world where shadows and whispers danced just outside her grasp, he seemed like the only flicker of light. They crouched in the gloom, hearts pounding in sync. For a moment, the noise faded, replaced by the rush of blood in her ears. Then, she heard the footsteps crushing down just a few feet away. They were searching. What do they want from me? She breathed, panic rising. The truth, he said, his face shadowed, but his gaze unwavering. You're the key to it all. The word sent a bolt of confusion straight through her. What do you mean? There is something you don't know about your inheritance, he hesitated, watching the treetops for movement. Something dangerous. They want to take it from you for good. The implication hung in the air like a noose ready to tighten. Memories of family gatherings flooded her mind, the laughter, the warmth, and the way her Uncle Ray had always been so protective of her. No, it can't be. His eyes softened slightly, and for a heartbeat, she thought she saw compassion overriding his desperation. They believe that the money comes with a power. A legacy linked to something dark. Before she could digest that information, a booming voice shattered the silence. She is here. Flush her out. Now. He rasped, lunging forward, grabbing her hand and pulling her deeper into the woods. Branches whipped past them, scraping at her skin, but she didn't stop. Each stride took her further from the chaos behind her, even as questions bubbled up. What kind of inheritance held this much weight? And why did it involve danger? They stumbled into a clearing, moonlight casting long shadows. We need to split again, he said, urgency lighting his eyes. I'll lead them away. You must head towards the bridge. The bridge? She asked, her voice trembling with doubt. Yes. Find it. I'll meet you there. What if no time? He pressed his fingers to her lips, a wild urgency in his gaze. Just go. Trust me. The moment stretched painfully as she searched his eyes for any hint of betrayal. Then, as she glanced over her shoulder and heard the shouts of the hunters, she knew she had no choice. Go. He shouted, pushing her gently but firmly. She hesitated, terror coursing through her veins, but the voices were drawing closer. She turned on her heel and sprinted into the darkness, but what awaited her at the bridge? A new ally or an even greater threat? With each step, the branches snapped and whispered secrets of the night. Jessica felt hope flicker and fade, tangled with fear and uncertainty. Would she uncover the truth, or was she merely running toward the danger? And in the dim light, as she sprinted for her life, Jessica couldn't shake the thought, her world was about to change forever. The bridge loomed ahead, but what lay beyond it? Jessica's pulse hammered in her ears as she dashed through the trees, fear fueling her every stride. The ominous shouts echoed behind her like a heavy drum, each cry urging her to run faster. The bridge wasn't far, but with every step, dread twisted tighter in her gut. What awaited her at that crossing? The moonlight fractured on the ground, creating twisted shadows that seemed to reach for her. Keep moving, she whispered to herself, willing her legs to work even as they felt like lead. Doubts gnawed at her mind. Was she really safe? Or was this man a stranger cloaked in urgency leading her deeper into a trap? The sound of shuffling footsteps crawled closer. She pressed herself against a tree, desperately trying to catch her breath. And then she heard a snap of a twig. Her heart leapt to her throat. They were closing in. Please, she murmured, her body trembling as she fought off panic. Not now. Taking a deep breath, she forced herself to step back into the shadows, creeping toward the clearing. As she neared the bridge, the rushing water below roared like a beast, mocking her vulnerability. She could see its structure up ahead, old and worn but still standing strong, a sanctuary, perhaps. But what lurked beneath those planks? Jessica! A voice called out, cutting through the night with a sense of urgency. It wasn't the voice she expected, it was her Uncle Ray's. Cold fear washed over her as she crouched low, peering through the gap in the underbrush. There he was, flanked by Linda, and behind them, a group of shadowy figures. She must be close. We have to find her before it's too late. A sick feeling tightened in her chest. Did they truly care for her? Or was this a lie, a facade masking a far more sinister intent? She bit her lip, willing herself not to cry out. The urgency in Ray's voice slipped into her mind, wrestling with the warmth of their past. Desperation pooled in her stomach. She needed answers that only the truth could provide. With her mind racing, she turned her back on them, focusing on the bridge's silhouette silhouetted against the starry sky. The solid structure beckoned her, a beacon of hope in a dark sea of uncertainty. Taking the plunge, she sprinted toward it, her footsteps pounding in sync with her heart. As she approached the bridge, however, she noticed something odd. The wooden slats were lined with what looked like strange symbols carved into the surface. She hesitated, fingers brushing against the markings. Why would someone deface it like this? Or was it a warning? Suddenly, a rustling broke through the stillness. A figure emerged from the shadows ahead. Jessica froze, breath hitching in her throat. She couldn't make out the face, but the outline was unmistakable. It was him. The man from the woods. Jessica. He called urgently, his eyes scanning the area. You shouldn't be here. What are you doing? Panic surged inside her. You said you'd meet me. We don't have time. He shouted, glancing back toward the trees. They're coming, we need to get across. His urgency hit her hard, adrenaline surging. But as she looked toward the tree line, something shifted in her. She could see shadows moving, and the realization crashed over her like a tidal wave. This was not just about her escape. With a steely resolve, Jessica stepped forward, backing away from the bridge. No. I want to be seen as a pawn. You need to tell me the truth. What is this all about? Your words, what did you mean? Before he could respond, the ground trembled as a massive shadow loomed behind him. A guttural growl followed, sending chills racing down her spine. What did I walk into? She breathed, stepping back instinctively. The man's expression shifted to one of terror as he backed away from her. Run. Now. Caught between the man she didn't trust and the menace rising from the darkness, Jessica stood paralyzed. Her choices narrowed as fear loomed like a monster awaiting its prey. With the threat drawing closer, she would have to decide: flee into the unknown or confront the dangers of the night. Would her quest for the truth be worth the danger it posed? Just then, from the shadows, a familiar face appeared. One that would shake her to the core, the last person she ever expected to see. And as Jessica's world tilted on its axis, questions loomed larger than ever, weaving a tapestry of dark secrets just waiting to unravel. Jessica's heart raced as recognition flooded her senses. The familiar face stepped out from the shadows, bright under the moonlight. Sarah, her childhood friend, the one person she thought she could always trust. But something felt off, an uneasy tension settled in the air, deeper than the roots of the trees around them. Sarah? Jessica called, her voice trembling. What are you doing here? Jessica. You need to listen to me, Sarah replied, urgency in her tone. But before she could explain, the growl from the shadow behind the man reverberated again, shattering the moment. The shadows twisted menacingly, and Jessica's instincts kicked into high gear. What is happening? Who is coming? She shouted, fear slicing through her like a knife. Sarah stepped closer, eyes darting nervously. Please, we don't have much time. The others, they're not what you think. They're in it for the fortune. Your uncle and Linda, they want to claim what's rightfully yours. But that's not even the worst part. Jessica's breath hitched in her throat. Could it be true? A sickening twist of betrayal wrapped around her heart. She felt the distance growing, but this? This was unfathomable. The man from the woods turned, hands raised in defense. We need to go. We're out of time. But Jessica couldn't move. Stop. You have to tell me everything. Who wants my inheritance? Is it you? Is it Ray? What do they want? Before she could finish, the ground shuddered beneath them again, as if the earth itself protested. Trees shivered, their leaves rustling ominously. The growl morphed into a loud snarl, echoing through the forest like a death knell, drowning out all reason. Sarah! Jessica pleaded. What's under that bridge? You know something. Nothing good, Sarah whispered urgently, stepping closer, shielding Jessica from the impending chaos that loomed behind them. You need to trust me. If we don't get out of here now, they'll use that thing to get to you. What thing? Jessica's pulse raced as Sarah pointed back over her shoulder, and Jessica's heart sank. She risked a glance, and her stomach churned at the sight. Emerging from the tree lean was a massive, shadowy figure, a creature more monstrous than anything her imagination could conjure. Desperation gripped her. What is that? An old guardian, Sarah shouted. You were never meant to find the truth. It's protecting something powerful down there. Jessica's mind whirled, thoughts colliding. An inheritance, betrayal, hidden secrets, everything was falling apart. But with the growl of the beast echoing behind them, her instincts screamed for her to act. They had to move. Go. Now. The man urged again, panic in his eyes. Don't you dare move an inch. Jessica shouted, standing her ground. If you're lying to me. He's not. Sarah yelled. If we don't leave, then none of this will matter. Driven by adrenaline, Jessica grabbed Sarah's arm, pulling her toward the enveloping darkness. She could hear the footsteps of Ray and the others crashing through the foliage behind them, urgency surging through the air like wildfire. Where? Jessica asked breathlessly, unable to tear her eyes away from the creature's menacing form. Under the bridge. Sarah replied, pointing as they sprinted forward. We have to go before it's too late. But as they approached the bridge, more shadows emerged from the tree lean, surrounding them. A fierce sense of betrayal flooded Jessica's chest. Who could she trust in a moment like this? Step away from her. Ray's voice boomed, authority echoing in the darkened forest. Jessica froze, fear wrestling with her need for the truth. Would everyone around her reveal their true intentions, or would they all descend into chaos? Behind her, the creature snarled louder, a deep rumble that spoke of forgotten stories and ancient curses. Jessica's breath quickened as she faced the precipice of choice again, her heart racing with every thump against her chest. In that moment of strife, she realized she needed to fight, to uncover the depths of the secrets that cloaked her life before it was too late. The path before her twisted darkly into the unknown, where trust and betrayal would dance dangerously close to the cliff edge of reality. As chaos erupted around them, Jessica's voice cut through everything. No more lies. Reveal everything, or we all perish here. But as the shadows closed in, she had to wonder, could she survive the truth? Would it even set her free? And in the suffocating darkness, she braced for an answer that could shatter her world once and for all. The tension hung thick in the air, coiling around them like serpents ready to strike. Jessica felt the weight of Sarah's gaze, a mix of pleading and fear. She wanted to curl up into herself, to hide from the snarling beast behind them and the dark intentions that tainted her family. But when Ray stepped forward, a cold sweat rippled down her back. Jessica, don't listen to her. She's trying to manipulate you. Ray shouted, his voice trembling just enough to uncover the cracks in his facade. Behind him, Linda and a few others materialized from the underbrush, their expressions shadows of betrayal and greed. What do you know about this inheritance? Jessica shot back, her voice taking on a strength she didn't feel. "Are you really willing to kill for it?" The growl behind them intensified, a deep, rumbling sound that shook the ground. Sarah grabbed Jessica's arm tighter, her eyes wide with urgency. "We have no time. Please, trust me. It's not just riches at stake, it's your life." "Enough." Ray barked, stepping closer, his body language aggressive, threatening. "We'll figure this out the right way. You're not capable of making this decision." The shadows pressed in tighter, and Jessica's heart raced with panic and fury. "You mean your way?" Before she could think, she spun to face the bridge, shadows slithering closer, and something inside her snapped. "I don't care who's right or wrong. If I'm in danger, I have to know what's under that bridge." Behind her, a strange silence morphed into an unexpected clarity, a moment of realization that sharpened her senses. She turned back to the encroaching figures, fast as lightning. "Whoever stands with me, step forward. Now." In a shocking display of loyalty, Sarah surged forward, her eyes blazing. "Don't choose greed, Jessica. Choose the truth." The weight of Sarah's words hung between them, heavy with intention. In that instant, something shifted in the shadowy figures of Ray and the others. Linda stepped forward, her demeanor suddenly more sinister. "You don't know what you're asking for, Jessica. The bridge, it holds secrets even you couldn't begin to understand." A flash of doubt crept into the corners of Jessica's mind, but the unsettling growl from the creature pushed her forward, refusing to let fear dictate her decisions. "Then tell me. What's down there?" The shadows behind Ray twisted and flickered, the dark figure seeming to charge in response to Jessica's challenge. Instinctively, Jessica's fight response kicked in, her breath hitching with the weight of impending danger. "Fine. If it's the truth you want, you'll regret it." Ray roared, and with a sharp signal, the others surged ahead, shadows grasping, bodies moving as one, a predatory urgency. Jessica's world splintered as limbs collided and chaos erupted around her. Sarah lunged at Jessica, hurling them both toward the bridge. "Now!" she yelled, panic bubbling in her voice. As they dashed ahead, the snarling creature lunged, a dark silhouette against the pale moonlight, teeth glistening like daggers. In that wild moment, Jessica sensed that this was at the crossroads between truth and betrayal. "Run!" Sarah shouted. They hardly noticed the stream of energy pulsing around them. With each beat of their hearts, they raced toward the bridge and its ominous shadows, but a glance back revealed Ray and the others struggling. "What did I unleash?" Jessica murmured, her voice barely a whisper. When they reached the bridge, something powerful erupted from the depths, not just the truth about greed or betrayal, but a surge of legacy, long buried. As they stepped onto the bridge, strange symbols glowed on the stones beneath them, revealing a path forward, one that twisted deeper into the heart of the unknown. Jessica's stomach twisted, her heart racing louder than ever. What lies ahead? And as the shadows lurked closer, the chorus of growls and screams filled the air, echoing both prophecies and warnings. The truth awaited them, but what price would they pay to uncover it? Without another thought, they sprinted forward, and somewhere deep within the darkness, a voice curled around them like smoke, whispering secrets that could change everything. The moment they stepped onto the bridge, the air thickened, buzzing with energy and dread. Strange symbols pulsed beneath Jessica's feet like a heartbeat, illuminating the darkness around them. Each flickering light hung in the air like a beacon, guiding them deeper into the unknown, but also sending ripples of fear coursing through her veins. "Jessica, stay focused." Sarah's grip tightened on her arm as they moved further into the swirling shadows. "This is our chance to unveil the truth." Behind them, the sounds of chaos erupted in the clearing. Ray's furious roars mixed with desperate yells from Linda and the others. Each cry echoed with panic, fear, and the sting of betrayal. The grip of reality shifted as Jessica stole a glimpse back at the fray. They were slowly being swallowed by the shadows, like prey ensnared in a vicious trap. "Don't look back," Sarah urged, her voice laced with fear. We have to keep going. With determination burning in her chest, Jessica nodded. They raced forward, the bridge creaking beneath their weight. The growls grew louder, a mix of primal power and rage, curling around them like smoke. "What do you think is down there?" Jessica asked, even though her instincts screamed to keep her mouth shut. The unknown was terrifying but tantalizing. "I don't know," Sarah replied, her face pale. "But whatever it is, it's crucial. It could either save us or doom us." Just then, the dangerous growl exploded into a snarl, followed by an ear-splitting crash. Something surged from the shadows, not just an animal, but a creature of nightmares, its eyes glowing like hot coals, reflecting raw hunger and fury. Jessica froze, her instincts clashing with her desire for the truth. "Light!" Sarah shouted, and without thinking, she snatched a small flashlight from her pocket. As she clicked it on, a beam sliced through the darkness, illuminating the creature's massive figure, its features twisted and grotesque. "Back up!" Jessica screamed, her heart pounding in her ears. They had trespassed into territory marked by ancient fears, a line they would not escape. Unscathed, the creature reared back as the light hit it, confusion flickering in its eyes. Jessica realized in that moment that the shadows weren't merely a threat, they were a manifestation of fears and secrets long hidden beneath the bridge. Memories came flooding back, whispers of her family's past, regrets buried deep. "Can they see us?" Jessica whispered, her eyes darting between the advancing creature and the scrawled symbols beneath her feet. Sarah shook her head, a fresh resolve sweeping over her. "They're only shadows, Jessica. But we need to press on." With every ounce of courage surging through her, she grabbed Jessica's hand, pulling her back into motion. "We can't let them grab us. Keep running." They sprinted across the bridge, nearing an archway cut into stone. Just ahead, the path forked off into two, one shimmering faintly with the same ethereal glow, the other swallowed by darkness. The air shimmered like a mirage, making Jessica dizzy. "Which way?" Sarah gasped, breathing hard. The growls evolved into howls, a chorus of rage that seemed to echo their hesitation. In that instant, Jessica felt it, the rush of heritage, a magnetic pull towards the right path, a connection deeper than just bloodlines. "Right!" she shouted, taking a sharp turn toward the glowing path. "We have to." But as they moved, the ground quaked violently beneath them, and the symbols flared brighter, unveiling a deeper secret. "Jessica!" Sarah cried, suddenly losing her footing. Jessica felt herself being dragged into the light, pulled deeper and deeper into something they weren't ready for. As the shadows roared, and the echoes of Ray's betrayal haunted her, Jessica couldn't shake the sensation that the truth was about to be laid bare. But what would that revelation cost? "How can we know we'll survive this?" Jessica gasped just as the blinding light engulfed them, hiding the answers they sought, and as they vanished into the radiant unknown, a chilling thought gripped her heart: was the truth more dangerous than the lies they left behind? The light enveloped them, explosive and surreal, washing away the fears of betrayal and shadows. For a heartbeat, Jessica felt weightless, suspended between worlds. Then she found herself on solid ground, staggering slightly as her vision adjusted to the brilliance surrounding her. They stood in a cavernous chamber, the walls shimmering with the same symbols they had seen on the bridge. Wisps of energy crackled in the air around them, like static on a winter day. Jessica blinked, trying to make sense of it all. "Is this real?" Sarah whispered, all lighting her features. The truth seemed to pulse all around them, alive and eager to share its secrets. "It feels ancient," Jessica replied, her voice echoing against the stone. Curiosity began to overshadow her fear. "But why are we here?" Suddenly, a low growl reverberated through the chamber, sending a chill crawling down Jessica's spine. The creature was here, lurking behind the shades of the light, its presence undeniably heavy. Panic stirred within her as she remembered their narrow escape. "We need to find out what this place is," Jessica stated, steeling herself against the uncertainty. "It's connected to everything." Sarah nodded, brushing her palm against the glowing symbols. It feels like a map or a warning. Do you think it leads to a way out? Jessica asked, her pulse quickening with a mix of hope and trepidation. The path to the truth felt obscured yet tantalizing, not just for her, but for the lives woven into her family's legacy. Maybe, Sarah mused, eyes flashing with determination. But it's also a doorway to understanding why your family's been after you. They want that power. The inheritance isn't just about money, it's about control. As if on cue, the growling intensified, shaking the very ground beneath them. We don't have much time, Jessica urged, her heart pounding. We have to decipher this before they catch up. Whatever's in this chamber, it could mean everything. She closed her eyes, focusing her energy while recalling the family secrets she had stumbled upon. Jessica imagined the darkness from before, the fear, the betrayal, but here in this chamber, she felt something welcome and profound. She glanced around, trying to imagine where to start. Wait! Sarah exclaimed as she knelt, pointing at one of the glowing symbols. This one. It looks familiar. Jessica leaned in closer. It was a design she had seen in her grandfather's journal. It's his sigil. What does it mean? It could be a key to understanding all of this, Sarah said, excitement bursting in her voice. Let us follow it. Together, they moved across the chamber, tracing the symbols with trembling fingers. Each stroke sent flares of energy surging through them, weaving a connection between their souls and the hidden truths of the past. Suddenly, there was an explosion of light, blinding them momentarily. When their vision returned, they stood before a massive stone pedestal at the chamber's center. Atop it rested a shimmering, ornate box adorned with intricate carvings. This must contain the truth, Jessica breathed, a rush of adrenaline coursing through her. For a moment, she could almost sense the shadows closing in, the growls growing fainter yet more impatient. Do you think we should open it? Sarah asked, eyes wide with anticipation. It feels like our only option, Jessica replied, her hand trembling as she reached for the box. Whatever it is, it could hold the key to defending ourselves. With a swift motion, she flung the lid open. A pulse of radiance burst forth, engulfing them in glowing light. Within the box lay a singular, delicate key glowing even brighter, a key that shimmered with the potential of new beginnings and buried legacies. Suddenly, the growling from the shadows roared back to life, redoubling in urgency as if the creature were discovering an untouchable truth. The ground trembled violently beneath them, and echoes of danger loomed larger than life. Jessica, hold on to that key! Sarah shouted. We're not safe yet. With instincts kicking in, Jessica clutched the key tightly, every ounce of its energy coursing through her veins. She could feel it linking her to a powerful legacy. Let us go! They shouted in unison, but as they turned to dart back to the bridge, the shadows morphed into figures: Ray, Linda, and the cloaked figures following closely behind. There's nowhere to run, Jessica. Hand over the key! Ray demanded, venom dripping from his words. A surge of panic gripped her, but something else unfurled within. No! She voiced, unwavering. You don't understand. This isn't just about the money. It's about truths you can't comprehend. Enough. That key belongs to us. Linda cried, a twisted smile on her face. Instead, Jessica stood firm, the key pulsing in her hand. I won't be a pawn in your game. This is my legacy, and I'll fight to protect it. In that moment, the shadows grew dark but her light shone brighter, and as Jessica felt the truth envelop her, she took a step forward, prepared to uncover the stifling lies that had kept her family in chains for generations. With the truth now on her side, she would rewrite the narrative. Together, we can change everything, Sarah added, standing resolutely beside her. In the eye of the storm, with shadows and betrayal swirling all around, Jessica felt the courage surge within her. They would confront whatever secrets awaited, battling the darkness through understanding, reclaiming an inheritance stitched not just in gold, but in truths that breathed hope anew. And as they faced the looming figures within the cavern, Jessica's voice rang clear with conviction. It's time for the truth to finally emerge. The cavern trembled, signaling the shift. As the truth beckoned them deeper into the bowels of their legacy, they knew they were ready to confront whatever awaited. The time for betrayal had drawn to a close, and the rise of discovery was just beginning. Subscribe immediately to the channel to keep up with the world of our stories. You need to smash that like button now to help us feed the algorithm. Flood the comments section with your theories for the next chapter and the shocking twists that await. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this epic conclusion. This is the moment to show your support.